Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you guys are watching this. And Manny, I told you they went for Ian McKenzie for that touchdown.
I'm pissed.
So welcome. sorry, man. Welcome to episode number 4 of the Next Up Fantasy Show. I'm Will. Joining me as always is my partner in crime. Let's go ahead and start with Mr. Michigan, Manny B and Manny. Manny, what's good?
What's up? As you could kind of see, Thursday Night Football is going on. Like Will said, McKenzie just scored. It's a good game so far. I'm pretty pumped that NFL season started. College season started. Hopefully your fantasy teams are doing well. Hopefully you didn't draft Cam Akers, and we'll get into it.
For sure. We are going to get into that and then some. And then also, one of my oldest friends, Mike T. What up? How you doing?
What's going on? Well, unfortunately, I did draft Cam Akers, but it's okay. I got things in the works. He's just another guy, so we'll be okay. But no, I'm happy to be here with my guys. We're chilling. We're all excited for the beginning of the football season. Buffalo looks good. The Rams look good. It's a good game, and I think this will be a good show. So let's get it started.
It's going to be a good show. You could probably tell by our energy that we're a little bit more amped, a little bit more pumped than usual because it's finally here, gentlemen. We here, man. First game of the season. The NFL season officially started. The preseason can be really, really boring, and that means the things that we talk about sometimes is going to be boring. But it's super sucks. I mean, you good? It kind of sounds like you have a you all right, Manny?
Yeah, preseason sucks. I'm not trying to watch minor league football. Give me the starters.
We got the starters.
I'm not looking for college rejects.
Maybe, what if they're not rejects? You don't know that. Word. Okay. So just like I said, we just started the season this year. We're a little bit happy. We're a little bit amped, and from here, it's just getting down to the nitty gritty and getting down to the business people. Let's go ahead and first start off. We'll keep it simple. We'll keep it basic with the news and notes that we have today. Don't have really too much going on, but one of the things that we did want to talk about while we're looking at this game between the Rams and the Bills is just one of the things that we noticed as far as not only the touches for the Rams backfield, but also the amount of snaps. We're just getting into the third, or we're just about halfway in the third quarter right now. And Manny ended up pulling up one of the stats that for the amount of snaps that Darrell Henderson went into, which if you remember, he was drafted like in the 11th, 12th, sometimes not even drafted at all round. He was at 25 snaps compared to Cam Akers, who was drafted in the 4th, maybe 5th, only had about like 5 snaps. So this could be a case of just game script. It is a close game right now as we speak. It's 17 as of right now. It's 17-10 Rams. But just wanted to get everybody's opinion real quick. Because we got other stuff to talk about. Just let's make it real quick. Let's start with Mike. With the snap count being this way, like, do you feel that is it a case of game script, or do you feel that it's a case of how they're going to pretty much run the offense from here on out?
I personally think that it's a game script situation. I think that it's going to be one of the harder backfields to read all year. I think Sean McVay is going to choose to ride the hot hand, whoever that may be. Today it seems to be like Darrell Henderson. But I think there'll also be weeks where Cam Akers will have more carries and be more involved in the game script than Darrell Henderson. So it's just kind of one of those situations where we have to sit back and watch. Neither of these players are an automatic, start like a Cooper Kupp would be, or perhaps Allen Robinson. These guys are more dependent on what's going on in the game. So based on how the game's going, if there's a game where they're leading and they're winning by a lot, I could see both of them getting action. If there's a game where they're trailing, I could see neither of them really being that impactful if they have to throw the ball a lot. But I just think it's going to kind of be a guessing game all year. So if you have one of those two backs, the value is clearly with Henderson because you probably got him a lot later.
Right.
And you're just going to have to if you're a Cam Akers owner, you're going to kind of have to grin and bear it and just hope that he can get some carries along the way. And he will, but some weeks are going to be bad.
It could also be just a general case of Cam Akers just not being fully 100% yet, even though, the type of injury that he had at ACL injury, that's really difficult to get past. To get 100%, like just like Manny talked about, it takes a while for it's either going to take a while or it might not ever happen at all as far as you getting 100% after having that injury. So it's kind of why we kind of talked about trying to get Darrell Henderson a little bit later as a way of trying to somewhat bet on seeing if whether or not Cam Akers can pretty much do what he did last year. He didn't look great in the Super Bowl. So it might have been a clue from there, but we'll just generally see from here on out. So Manny, you were on the plus side of wanting Darrell Henderson. Do you see this as I see him do another rush attempt? Do you see this pretty much as his backfield, or is it one of those where it's a wait and see to see if he ends up if Cam Akers ends up being a little bit more healed?
So I wasn't expecting Cam Akers to get 5 snaps compared to Darrell Henderson, but I picked up Darrell Henderson in 3 out of my 4 leagues. I was actually targeting him because of the value, like Mike said. We have Cam Akers that's going in like the 4th, 5th. I was avoiding him like the plague because there's wide receivers that were going in that round that I love. Prime example was Elijah Moore. I talked about him before. We'll see how he turns out. There's Allen Robinson that you could have picked up. There was just so many good value at wide receiver during those rounds to avoid Cam Akers because I thought it was going to be a split. And then, like we talked about before, the Achilles injury is not like running backs struggle when they come back. Example, Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack was a stud at the Colts. Then he got his injury. We haven't seen the same. I'm more worried about and same with I think James Robinson actually got that same injury as well, right? And now everyone's so high on Travis Etienne. So why is everyone so high on Travis Etienne but not Darrell Henderson? Why wasn't Darrell Henderson getting that same love as Etienne? I know Etienne might be a better back, but if you think about it, the discrepancy of which rounds they were going, you should have went for Darrell Henderson, in my opinion.
It could have been a combination as far as Etienne and not
James Robinson.
And not Henderson in this case, because I think they just saw. Well, for starters, a longer recovery time because Travis Etienne had his injury before the season started last year, so they had a hellacious amount of time to recover from there. And that goes the same. And as far as Cam Akers, he had it during the actual Super Bowl, or actually, no, not during Super Bowl, like a couple of weeks during the season, but came back and played in the Super Bowl. But again, Cam Akers didn't look 100%. So,
can I give you another running back too that we all know? Arian Foster was a stud before his injury, and then after that injury, everything went downhill. So
I miss him. He was.
I loved him. Yeah, I loved Arian Foster, man.
That Achilles injury can like tamper a career.
Right. And he doesn't have a Achilles injury, but something that we do want to that we did talk about. I believe I talked about it either last week or last episode or the episode before. Najee Harris. Najee Harris with that injury. And I hope that people are looking at Jaylen Warren. Believe Warren's the last name. If it's not, then I'm sorry. But I know I personally picked him up in a couple of leagues, but he is the official number 2 in Pittsburgh. So not Benny Snell, not Anthony McFarland, but Jaylen Warren, as long as I say the name right. So I hope that some people are actually looking at him right now to try to pick up either last year draft or pick him up in the waiver wire as someone that might possibly get a little bit more time, which could be a possible stash. Another person I wanted to talk about, and I'll go ahead and I'll just go ahead and say this. I'm not going to say that I'm wrong about this or that I was wrong about it, but I'm going to say that what everyone cautioned about is something that finally happened. Christian McCaffrey ended up having a small little shin injury, and that's mainly because someone pretty much stepped on him with a cleat. Even though they did put him or considered him as on the injury report, the good news was he was still a full participant in the practice today, and because of that, like that's why I'm not fully concerned about him. But I'll start with Mike again. With how can I put this? You as well as pretty much Manny too. You were the people that warned me not to pick him as my number one or not to pick him up at all in drafts, and I picked him up probably in like 3 or 4 leagues. I'll be honest. Do you feel that this may be signs of things to come, or do you feel that this is something that's just a small bump of the road for his injury?
Well, first, let me just congratulate you for being able to get him in 3 or 4 leagues. That means you had premium draft position, so that's dope. But I mean, I hate to be that I told you so guy, but I told you so, man. He's just injury prone. I don't trust him. I don't. And it's unfortunate because he's a great player, and I hate to put him in that category of someone who isn't effective due to the limitations of their body. But that's how I feel about him. I feel that way about him. I feel that way about other players as well. I won't go into that because we're talking about Christian McCaffrey. But yeah, man. I wish you the best. I do, but I think that he's gonna be nicked up here and there all throughout the season, and I just hope that he doesn't have a significant injury. But I definitely think he'll miss games due to injury because I don't know, man. I just don't think his body can tolerate the beating that it takes in a 17 game season. So yeah, good luck.
Now, as a FYI, as far as the range that I had as far as selecting him, there was only one time that I had the first overall. There was probably like 2 times where I had the 3rd overall, and one of the times I had the 5th overall, and I was still able to get him at that 5th pick. So so I know that everyone's concerned about him and injuries, and so am I. But at the same time, I picked him up mainly for 2 reasons. One, you can't be scared with injuries, and 2, anybody else can get injured. Like we talk about Dalvin Cook, but he was the 8th overall. We talked about a multitude of other players. Just because they haven't been injured yet doesn't mean that they're not going to permanently. So yeah, James Cook was, or not James Cook. Dalvin Cook was the first one that came into my mind when it came to injury. So, Manny, do you have any thoughts about this CMC issue?
So I was on the same boat as you. I actually have Christian McCaffrey as well, because when I looked at his history, it's all been not the same, like tendons that he's got: shoulder, knee, leg, pretty much every part of his body. The problem, I'm not scared at all still because he got stepped on. It's kind of like that's not a reoccurring injury. It's an accident. And that could happen to anybody in the league. What scares me is like players that get hamstring injuries over and over and over, or like the same type of injuries, like the Achilles tear, where they're out, and then there's studies that shows that they're not going to perform as well. Christian McCaffrey, on the other hand, just has been unlucky. There's been another player like that, Barkley, that's just been unlucky. He was out all year last year because he got stepped on. You can't avoid that. It's just it's what happens.
And that's actually a good point to bring up. Like with Barkley pretty much being called up to say, all right, he's going to be a round one. He's going to be a round one guy. He's going to be a top 5 guy in the league for fantasy, and yet he's had just as much injuries, or he's just as injury prone, let's say, as a Christian McCaffrey. So like it goes back to like, do we have general biases against certain players? when it comes to injuries. Like, does it depend? Does it matter how bad the injury is and things like that? As it looks like there's someone else that was injured that you were looking at. Did someone get down and get hurt? Yep, I see it now.
Yeah, it was. I don't know who it was though.
It looks like might have been a different player.
While he's looking, the best thing on this podcast is MBT trying to like focus talking and then trying to watch the game at the same time. It's the best. The best qualities on YouTube right now. Looking at Will's face, trying to get a sentence going as he's talking.
Right.
Let me interject. Not easy.
Not at all. Not multitasking can be really, really rough. Let me interject, man. I hear you guys, but I don't believe that certain people, like, luck is luck, right? But right. I do think when you're personally, when I'm drafting, like, I look into injury history. I do personally.
Mm-hmm.
If something continues to happen, then the likelihood is that it's going to happen again, right? I mean, that's just common sense. So I understand that there's elements of luck that are involved in all of that. I get that, but I just don't trust the guy. I don't, and it's not his fault. Like Manny said, that could happen to anybody, but it seems to continually happen to him in one way or another, you know? So I just be buyer beware. That's all I'm going to say. He's a great talent.
The Panthers are just trolling us, by the way. They didn't have to put him on the injury report. They just want us on the injury report so we talk about it. Us fantasy managers can sweat it out a little bit.
Right.
So I can have a heart attack. Yeah. That's not right. But we'll just see how everything goes later on, and hopefully that CMC gets better as well as everybody else. I hope no one gets injured. There. How about that? I'll just do an overall wish that nobody on any of our teams get injured. So
the Eagles can. Well, sorry.
Yeah,
I agree. I can't. I got AJ Brown in a couple. I got Jalen Hurts. Like it seems like it's a pun if you're talking about injuries. Hurts and injured, and I don't have anybody else. Just Hurts and AJ Brown. I don't have Devontae. I don't have Miles Sanders. Maybe Kenneth Gainwell. I think I have.
You're smart.
Super smart. So there was one more I wanted to talk about. Okay, it wasn't. It was kind of something that we've already
Wait. You haven't even brought up your running back that showed up on the injury report. Are you avoiding that? Elijah Mitchell?
I talked about this like last week. But if you want to jump onto it, let's talk about it. Like I talked about it. I talked about it on the draft episode that me and Mike did. That Elijah Mitchell is not 100%. I talked about this. Were you paying attention, Manny? Did you watch?
Just saying. I just wanted to hear it out of your mouth this week because he's still not. He's
still not. That's fine. That's okay. Trey Sermon is no longer there, and I talked about that before he got dismissed. The only guys that are there right now would be Jeff Wilson, which I don't feel that confident with. He's okay, but he's not great. Tyrone Davis.
You know who's a great backup? Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, he is. Now he's in Miami. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what else there is to say. You're really trying to troll me this week, aren't you? I haven't said one thing about the Cowboys yet. Yes. And yet you have me talking about the Niners. But okay, no, that's fair.
Week 9, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the starter.
Week 9?
I think Jimmy should be the starter.
Well, let's you know what?
Sorry, man.
You guys keep on doing bets with me. Do you want to do that as a bet? Do you want to do that as a bet if Jimmy G becomes the starter by week 9?
Why not? I mean, I'm not sure which week it'll happen in, but sure.
He will be the starter at the end of the season.
At some point, he'll be the starter. I do believe that as well. But
and it won't be because Trey Lance got injured.
He's not going to do that bad. He's not that terrible. I say
Jimmy G that led you to the NFC Championship sitting on your bench.
Yeah, and he couldn't win the NFC Championship.
Cowboys haven't been there. I don't want to talk about it. If I had Jimmy G,
talk about it.
I'd be so happy.
Time out. Wasn't there like a serious interception that was dropped that like had that been caught, you guys probably would have been in the Super Bowl?
Yep.
There's a multiple.
That guy's name. You know who he was. I mean,
Will's cutting this all.
right. He's like, forget about that.
No, I won't. No, I won't cut this off. No cap. We're good.
But no, the crazy part about it is like I know a lot of most of my friends are 49er fans. It's crazy just living in Southern California in the era that we grew up in. I mean, the Rams weren't, good back in the early 90s, and the Raiders weren't here. They were in Oakland. So a lot of people I know, resorted to being 49er. That was their squad. And the 49ers were great back then. So I have a lot of 49er friends. And the interesting thing is all my 49er friends, I don't know if they're just drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not sure. But they all say Jimmy's not the guy. Trey is going to be better. So they might have they might be right. But as an outsider, I just don't see it.
I'm going to say that Trey fits better for the system that Shanahan does. I'm not going to say if Garoppolo is better or not, but Garoppolo throws more than what the offense should be for the 49ers. That's my general thought. And Manny disagrees, but I really don't care right now.
What's going to happen is Deebo Samuel is going to get pissed, and Jimmy G's coming back.
Deebo Samuel was pissed because even with Jimmy G as the quarterback, he was still running. Like I was pissed for Deebo because of the fact that he wasn't running or that he was running. Like, I mean, we're like with the amount of running backs that we had that we had last year. Like, I mean, I'll admit it, they all practically got ran to the ground. So that's why they got all injured. That's why they all got injured. So that's why I feel confident, since we're going to go back to the original subject, with Eli being hurt, TDP could be next up, which is something that we talked about before. I don't think it's going to be Jeff Wilson, even though he will play. And I believe JaMycal Hasty is still playing with the Niners. And if he is, then I don't think that he'll have as much participation in the game. So I'm not saying TDP is going to be exactly the guy that's going to take over everything. Just one of those things that you should watch out for, just like Jalen Warren, if that's his real name. And that's the same thing with Darrell Henderson as of right now with Cam Akers, just something to watch for. Do you want me to talk about the injuries for the Cowboy wide receivers?
Nope.
I wasn't going to do it. Do you want me to talk about it?
Man, we're beyond that. America's team, man.
When you lose to the Bears this weekend, I don't want to hear it.
Go Justin Fields, man.
And you're a Bears guy too. You're a Bears guy, so who you rooting for?
I'm a Bears guy. Since when have I been a Bears guy? Just because I lived there before?
Every time I called him when he lived in Chicago, he's like, "The Bears." Every time.
We've never talked on the phone before since when I've been out there. Not even in the text much as I've seen the Bears. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna get to pretty much the main reason, I guess, for this episode today, and it's gonna be NFL award predictions. So we talked about a little bit before the show, so that we can get an idea of what our thoughts were overall as far as who's going to win what award, and we all just got thoughts. So let's go ahead and actually get started. Mike, you said you had the bold prediction, which is actually a good one. The bold prediction of Sky Moore being Rookie of the Year, but in this case, it looks like you ended up picking up somebody else. So who do you got for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, instead of Rookie of the Year this year, I feel Sky Moore. I think Sky Moore is going to be great. I do. But after having more time to think about it, let me look at my notes, man, because I thought you were going to have it scrolling across, man. You don't have that. Actually, look at my notes. My bad. All right, but no. After looking at I have my notes. After looking at thinking about it and really spending the time to think about it, man, I actually decided to go with a dude who you were actually talking about earlier, Will, Drake London.
Yes.
I'm gonna give the nod to Drake London for Rookie of the Year, just because I feel that Atlanta doesn't really have. Well, they have weapons. I shouldn't say that, but I think that Drake London paired with Kyle Pitts will be really, really effective for them. And I also think they're going to do everything in their power to make to give him volume, making him worthy of such consideration. I like his size. He was a beast at USC. I know sometimes college doesn't always translate, but I like the player. I like the size. I like the talent. And I also think that Atlanta will be losing a lot, so they'll be throwing a lot. So he'll have an opportunity to have a lot of volume and accumulate good stats. So I'm going to go with Drake London as my rookie of the year. Still love Sky Moore, but I'm giving the nod to London.
Well, I hope Drake London gets better. Hopefully, he'll be ready by week 1. He tweaked his knee a little bit. First game of the preseason. Really hope he does get better, because like I was a fan of Drake London, even though he's an SC guy. I don't care. I know I'm a UCLA guy, but I do enjoy watching him play. He was a beast at SC. I'll admit that.
I'm hearing he should be ready for week 1. I don't know if he will be or not. That could
I'm hoping so too. I'm hoping so too. Who do we have for you, Mr. Manny?
So usually the rookie of the year is they like to, just like the MVP, you go for like the person that gets the ball every time. And I went with the quarterback, and the best quarterback in this draft. Hopefully gets the starting role, because I think Mitchell Trubisky is going to be Mitchell Trubisky. And Kenny Smallhand Pickett is going to be my rookie of the year. I think he comes in halfway through the season, turns the Steelers around, like season around, not to the playoff or anything, but gets them in like contention at the end of the season. He's, I think, the better quarterback. So I think Kenny Pickett will be my rookie of the year. I was going to go Kenneth Walker, but then I would have sounded like a homer. But so I went with Kenny Pickett.
I think that's an interesting pick, actually, especially with the fact that he's not the official starter right now. But I do respect the upside and the type of play that he does, because Pickett and Pickens over in Pittsburgh, like that's actually a really good combination, and they showed that in the preseason. But you really think Kenny Pickett was the best quarterback in the league, or in the draft last year?
Do you think Malik Willis is?
Of course, I think that.
Yeah, but Kenny Pickett has more targets with Claypool, Deontay Johnson, and Pickens rather than Tennessee.
And if not Willis, who I think should get a chance over in Tennessee, because I still think Ryan Tannehill is going downhill. Why not Ritter?
That's my guy.
Yeah, I was about to say, why not Ritter? Why not in Atlanta? So like the Ritter London connection, that'd be too dope. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Pitts too. Like making a young movement over there.
I picked Pickett because I think out of those 3 teams, Pittsburgh will be the best, or competing at the end to get a playoff, like one of the last wild cards. Don't think Tennessee Titans has the weapons. Yeah, they have Derrick Henry. Falcons are not going to win more than 5 games, so they'll be out of the contention. Usually when they give the awards, they give it to teams that are winning. So,
got you.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to like my answer for Coach of the Year. Then I hope that they actually do win in that case. So for me, the Rookie of the Year is going to be the guy that I couldn't pronounce for one long segment, and that's Chris Olave. And everything is based. Thank you, Mike. Everything is based on. In this case, it's based on opportunity, and I think that if there's anyone that has the most opportunistic chance of actually getting as much carries, as much passing yards, as much receiving yards, regardless of which one it is, the person I feel that actually has the most availability is going to be Olave with the Saints. There's even some predictions that I've heard that Olave is going to get more yards and more opportunities in New Orleans versus Michael Thomas, which I'm not saying that's going to happen, but like it's one of those situations where I could see it happening. So as long as there's still like an availability for it to get there, then I can see Chris Olave pretty much trying to get Rookie of the Year. I honestly would have liked for it to be, originally I was going to say Breece Hall, but the way that those two are, Breece Hall and Michael Carter, but the way those two are playing, Like it's one of those where it just makes me think, no, Olave is going to have more opportunity out there versus Brees Hall. Even though Brees Hall would not be that bad of a choice, I'm still going to go with Olave. So on the next one, me and Mike agreed with this one, and I'm actually gonna we'll both talk about him in a minute, but let's go ahead and go and give it to Manny. Who's your MVP this year?
You guys have two different MVPs.
Oh, what is it? Me and you that have the same one?
No, we all have different ones.
Do we all have different ones?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Will.
I thought we had something. I thought we had something similar.
I was trying to go for someone different than so we don't keep saying the same players.
I could have sworn. Anyway, who do you got, Manny?
So my MVP has already been an MVP. He lost some weapons, lost his main wide receiver. Someone in our team thinks that they're going to finish in last place. I think they're going to finish in first. And that's Patrick Mahomes. And the reason I picked Patrick Mahomes is you guys are going to see his actual ability to be this quarterback that everyone thinks he is. Losing his, like I said, losing Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins, he's going to have to prove something. People think, a.k.a. Will, that he doesn't have it. Well, he's going to have to show something. I think he's going to show that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's going to lead the Chiefs to the playoffs.
You guys will have to excuse me. I'm just trying to double check everything that we got here. But
No,
that's
you're good.
I was just sitting there
I'm sitting here thinking, but I see where the similarity is. All right, it's not MVP. So my bad, America. So in that case, it's an interesting pick for Mike, actually. So show me what you got, Mike. Who do you got?
I'm going off the grid, man. I'm taking it somewhere else. Now, some of my later picks will be the same as your guys's because if it's a definite answer, it's a definite answer. But for this one, I wanted to kind of, like Manny said, take a stab at somebody different. So I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. I feel like Joe Burrow will be the MVP of the league. I feel like Joe is one of the better, if not the best, up-and-coming quarterback. Well, I shouldn't say the best. I think Josh Allen could be a little better, but we'll see. But I think Joe Burrow just has a plethora of weapons. We know that he can win. He can win the big games, as evidenced by last year, them getting to the Super Bowl. But Joe's just cool, man. I like Joe's swag. I've liked Joe ever since he was at LSU and Ohio State. I think that with the weapons he has at his disposal, and I think with the stats he'll put up, and I think he'll have a relatively successful season with the Bengals. I mean, I actually think the Bengals will be good again. I don't think it was a fluke. So I'm picking Joe Burrow to be the MVP of the league this year. And that's my pick.
Yeah, you have to excuse me. I was just in awe and shock with that Stafford pick that just happened right now. But you know what? That's a good off the grid pick. I do like Joe Burrow. Like
Joe
generally,
Burrow.
What was that?
No.
Okay. as long as Burrow ends up actually keeping his stride that he currently has, and my phone just dropped. Anyway, as long as that happens, I'm not watching football, I guess. As long as he keeps his stride, and it's a very good young core that he has with not only the wideouts but also who they have in the backfield. They're going to be okay, and Joe Burrow is going to always be in contention. So that's a really solid pick. I like that. For me personally, I went probably with the most boring pick out of all three of them, and that's Josh Allen.
Boring.
Boring. Anyway, there's something about this. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like Josh Allen is showing us that he does have the availability to become like the next guy in the league, as far as not exactly the face, but like someone that everyone pays attention to each and every year on a consistent basis. Like there's some quarterbacks that are out there, or some players out there that I feel that don't have that opportunity. They show up probably once a year or once for that 1 year, and then from there that's it. We never see or hear from them again. But Josh Allen has the availability to become a little bit more consistent with his. So with that being said, I'm looking to see if Josh Allen can. He almost did it. He kind of almost did it last year. He was probably like third or fourth in MVP voting. I don't know. I'll double check. But overall, it's I feel that this year it's Josh Allen's world. So that is my boring pick. Whether you're like
Your
that.
MVP candidate's leading the league in interceptions.
Yeah, with only one. Yeah, after only one game out of one game.
Hey,
okay, well,
he's leading something.
He's a leader in something. I'm fine with that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter to me. With family in the background, what up?
It happens.
So let's go ahead and do. This one is probably is going to call for a very much more interesting conversation. Coach of the year. I'll go ahead and stick it to. Actually, I'll go first on this one, just to get it out of the way. And mine is going to be Dan Campbell with Detroit. And the reason why I say that is they all people always like a they like a good story, like a good underdog story. And there's no team more underdog than like Detroit, because just based on how consistently terrible they've been for the past couple decades. But with it just kind of feels like the ragtag team that they have right now has the potential to become like something similar to the Cincinnati Bengals from last year. Of course, I don't think that they're going to win like their division. I don't see that happening. But if they can go from how terrible they were last year and the year before and the year before and the year before into something that's at least something mediocre or above mediocre, like if they were like 9 and I don't want to say 9 and 8. If they were like 10 and 7, if they were 10 and 7, and then based on how they were last year, I could see Dan Campbell being a candidate for the coach of the year. And I just think why not be him? Like I said, they have a really good core, a really good young bunch of talents. So it's like why not give it to him, and why not give it a shot? So what's going on, Manny?
Diggs just got a 50-yard touchdown.
Is that
really
serious?
Yeah.
It says all of us Dig owners. That's fantastic if that's accurate. Does Josh Allen also lead the league in touchdowns now?
He does.
Want to talk about his interceptions? Okay. Mike, let's go. I'm coming after you, man. All right.
Mike. He's flustered, Mike.
I could tell.
Come back with fire, man. But Mike, who do you got for your coach?
Coach of the year, you guys are looking at him right now. Sean McDermott, Buffalo Bills. I'm all in on Buffalo. Not a Buffalo fan, but hey, shout out to my man Mike Lewis. It's your year, bro. All in on Buffalo. They're gonna probably have the most wins out of any team in the league. They'll be the number 1 seed in the AFC, in my estimation. And usually, if you lead the league in wins and you're a productive team, that's kind of a pathway to being coach of the year. So I think Sean McDermott will be the coach of the year this year because he's coaching the best team. I can't. You're either muted or something, my man. Can you hear him, Manny?
Yeah, he's muted.
Oh, okay.
I'm muted. Okay, I'm muted. Okay, so I was trying to be courteous, but no. What I was saying before, if y'all can't read my lips prior, shout out to Mike Lou again, because if he pretty much likes what we're saying now about Buffalo, then he's probably going to be in for a surprise in the next couple of minutes. Manny, who do you got?
I got a team that actually is going to win games, unlike NBT picked the Lions coach. I have Kevin O'Connell for the Minnesota Vikings. I actually think they're going to win their division, make a little run. They have the key players, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. They have the pieces. Their defense isn't great. It's average. But I think with the division that they're in, with the Bears, the Lions, Green Bay team, that's going to be tough because they have Aaron Rodgers, but he lost Devontae Adams. Becoming a new coach, and like Mike said, if you win games, you're kind of apt to get that coach of the year. I just think him being the new coach of a new team and getting the Vikings to the playoffs, which they haven't done in a while, will give them the coach of the year.
And I can't agree with you more as far as how good Minnesota is going to be this year. Kirk Cousins is always one of those quarterbacks that does not get the recognition that he gets or that he deserves, when it comes to the fantasy world. He's usually a top 10 every single year. He's a guy, even though he's a guy that's limited when it comes to run, he doesn't run at all really. But when push comes to shove, Kirk Cousins actually is one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and it'll just become a huge chain reaction with the rest of the crew. So yeah, I could definitely see Kevin possibly getting that. And let's go ahead and just jump on in with the combination of division and conference winners. So let's go ahead and start with. Actually, I don't think I got Manny's information on that. So you wanna go first, or do you want one of us to go?
Let's go. Let's do. You want to do like division by division, and then we'll kind of like say who we won.
Division, yeah, division by division,
and then we'll go conference.
What was that? And then conference.
And then we'll go conference. So if you say like, let's start off with the AFC, or let's do West last. Let's do AFC South.
Okay, so let's. Who wants to go first then?
Mike.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll take it. So AFC South, who do we have in that division? That'd be the division that the Colts and them are in, right?
Sure.
Is that the South? AFC South? I'm just asking for confirmation. Is that the South or
that is the South?
Indian? Yeah, I thought it was. Come on, say something. I thought I was wrong for a minute. Like maybe it's not, but because I don't know. I just don't think of Indianapolis as being in the South, so I just had a geography issue with my brain.
I got you. It's Colts, Titans, Texans, Jaguars.
Thank you. I'm picking the Colts to win.
We're gonna get this right. We promise everybody.
We got people muted. My kids are walking in. It's a crazy night, but we're gonna get through this.
We need something bad for Manny, something bad for Manny to happen. Like because we're getting stuff done everywhere else with us, and we're just here. Oh, so Manny's perfect. He ain't perfect. Come on now.
Manny's chilling. He's perfect this show. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Indianapolis. I think the Colts will win that division. I don't really think it's not a good division. All right, so I'm kind of picking the Colts because I feel that they're by far the strongest team in that division. They have a solid defense with the addition of Matt Ryan, who I think will be more effective than Carson Wentz. Right. They have Michael Pittman. They have probably the best running back in the league in Jonathan Taylor. So unless the coaches mess it up, I just don't see any way that they won't win that division. So I'm picking Indianapolis to definitely win that division.
I personally don't have anything else to add too much when it comes to that. I said the same thing. Indianapolis Colts. They're just going to be a really solid team compared to everybody else that's in the division. So that's all I really got. Manny?
All I got the same thing, but I'll say what for. I got Colts, Titans, Texans over Jags. So that's my seeds. I think the Texans are a better team. I think Davis Mills is better than Trevor Lawrence. Let's just say that.
Ooh.
I'm going to get a lot of hate like that, but I think Davis Mills as an overall NFL quarterback is better than Trevor Lawrence.
My man.
I like it. It's bold, but I like it.
It's a good bold statement, and it's not one of those where it's like people are saying, "Oh, that's impossible." It's one of those where it's like intriguing. Mm-hmm. I could see. It's one of those where it's like I could see that. So let's go ahead, since we're still in the AFC. AFC North.
I got you. Yeah. Bengals, Steelers, Browns, Ravens.
Is it on me again?
So you got the Bengals winning that.
I'll go first.
Manny already went.
No, I'll go first. I got Baltimore Ravens as the one You guys forget that Ravens were, I don't know if you guys forget, they were completely wiped out last year with injuries and still
Right.
competed. Now they're getting fully healthy. J.K. Dobbins is still, dealing with an injury, but they have, the running back position is kind of interchangeable when you have like Lamar Jackson, right? He's basically their RB1. But Lamar Jackson a couple of years ago, when everyone was healthy, was the NFL MVP and led his team to the playoffs. I think, like I said, I think it's going to go Ravens, Bengals, and I think Bengals will take the wild card. And I think the surprise will be like the Steelers, like I was telling you, will be close to that second wild card, but won't make it. And then Browns coming in last place.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go. If Cleveland, if Deshaun wasn't suspended, I would think there'd be no question, and I would say Cleveland in a heartbeat. To be perfectly honest, their defense has always been above average. They finally have the quarterback that they need in Deshaun Watson, but then life happens. I'm just going to say that, and from there, instead, I'm going to have to go with Baltimore as well. I do like everything that Baltimore has. The running game is forever going to be questionable, and especially with them signing, I think, 2 running backs. I know at least one of them is Kenyon Drake. As far as
Mike
that, what was that? Mike Davis was the second one. Yes, thank you. Mike Davis was the second one, and everyone's picking him up in like late rounds as well as waiver wires. But no, like as far as who's going to be the running back, that's still questionable. But as far as overall, I have to go with Baltimore in this case. Lamar can do it again. That's the best way I can explain it. Mike, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna be different. And I actually, like I said, I talked about Joe Burrow earlier, so I'm gonna go back to Cincinnati Bengals. I think it's a new era, it's a new time. I think it's their time now to at least be on top of that division for a while. So yeah, with their offensive weapons, they've improved the offensive line, going out and getting Lyle Collins and kind of trying to strengthen that up to give Joe Burrow a little more protection. Excuse me. The defense is decent. And they have that experience. They know now what it feels like to win and to win at a high level. So I think that confidence goes a long way. Like, lining up, we all played sports. So lining up and just knowing or thinking, believing at least that you're better than the team across from you means a lot. And I think the Bengals finally have that now. They're going to go out to every game and they're going to say, hey, we can beat these teams because we were in the Super Bowl last year,
Right.
So so I think that I'm going to pick I know I'm going to pick the Bengals to win the division. But I think it will be close. I like Baltimore too, guys, but I'm going to give the nod to the Bengals.
No, that's what's up. I can't be mad at that pick. Yeah, Cincinnati is just one of those cores where it's like it's too hard for it's too hard for you to go against them. But we still know that there's a negative along with them. There's a con. They have multiple pros, but like there's a con just like every other team has. Like I said, Baltimore still has questions in the running game. In this case, Cincinnati's just they're still a little bit young, but they're hungry, and that's probably what I do like about Cincinnati. Very very good pick. This should be the most simple one. AFC East should be easy, but I'm not gonna draw conclusions just yet. So I'll just go first on this one. Buffalo, as we're watching them smash the I was about to say World Series, the Super Bowl champions right now, and I don't know. There's just something about them with the additions. Not only the additions, they didn't have too many additions in the offense because they didn't really need it as much, but like to add players like. Just the one example of Von Miller, just to get Von Miller on their defensive squad. Like it's one of those where it's like they want this looks like a special team to me. So Buffalo, and I'll just jump the gun a little bit. Not only is to me they're the AFC East champs, but they're also my pick for the conference champs. So Manny, who do you got?
I have the Bills, of course, number 1. I have the Patriots as 2, Dolphins, and then Jets. So that's my
NFL.
statement. I don't know. This division kind of sucks compared to the Bills. Like the Bills are going to go 6-0 on these division games. There's really no competition for them.
Right.
It sucks. Like, yeah, they might lose to the. I don't even know. Will they lose the Patriots? Maybe away at Patriots. And Patriots are going to do something shady. But that's it.
That's true. Always a possibility. Yeah, there's not really much to say.
The thing with the Bills, like, that scare me, like you said, they're going to go to Super Bowl. I know it's the first game. Moss just just fumbled the ball. They're having issues with turnovers. Yes, the Rams are having issues as well. But if that happens to someone that's like on top of their game, say they do this to like the team they've lost to, the Chiefs in the playoffs, they're not winning.
Now that actually brings up something interesting. Just real quick, did you want to add on to that, Mike?
Buffalo's going to win that division. The only thing I would say is I like Manny's list, but I kind of like Miami a little bit, so I'm going to pick them to finish second in that division. Okay. But Buffalo will by far win that division. Yeah,
I can't trust Tua to throw 30 yards or deeper to Tyreek Hill.
The only thing,
not mad at that.
The only thing that I had against, or one of the issues that Buffalo really had last year was the run game. So like with them, they still can't get it right exactly. They still have Zach Moss. They still have Zach Moss. They still have Devin Singletary. And it looks like Singletary's doing pretty decent. Not great, but acceptable in this game so far today. And picking up James Cook from this past year's draft, like he ends up fumbling this game. And it's one of those where it's like, okay, is Devin Singletary the actual guy for the run game, even though they have so many other opportunities? At first, it did seem like that it was a 3-person circus there, but Devin Singletary is the only one that's actually producing out of the three. So it'll be interesting to see what they do from here on out. But like, it's good news if you have pass catchers from Buffalo. So probably the most difficult one, maybe, depending. AFC West. Who do you got? Let's start with Mike.
AFC West. Let me see what I had, because that is a difficult one. I'm gonna have to look at that.
Yes.
I want to say I had. Sorry, guys. Look at my notes real quick.
Yeah, it's okay.
Let me find our.
This one you could do while he's waiting. You could go 1 through 4 on any of these teams.
Okay, the team I thought I had is what I had. Yeah, in AFC West, I'm actually picking. I want to say San Diego so bad, but LA Chargers.
We're so used to it.
Yeah, we're so used to it. And it's funny because out here, like, no one in LA likes them. It's weird. Like, everybody in LA, I mean, honestly, the Raiders still run LA and they're not even out here.
And they're not even there. They're here.
Yeah, they're not even here. So it's crazy. But no, I think the Chargers are loaded. I think the Chargers are loaded on offense and defense. Justin Herbert is an amazing quarterback. I mean, I like all 3 of their wide receivers. I like Williams. I like Allen. I even like Joshua Palmer. The running backs are awesome. Eckler's, I think, probably, the best pass catching back in the league. So if you're playing in a PPR league, he's going to really help you out that way. The only thing I think that's holding them back is the coach, but I think he'll be better this year. I think he'll go for it on less 4th downs, hopefully, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the LA Chargers to win that division. It's gonna be a close division, tough division. Any of those 4 teams have a shot, but I think the Chargers have the most talent, and I think the Chargers have the best quarterback in that division.
I feel it. I'll go ahead and go with my pick. I've been saying this all along. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and let's make one thing clear here. When every week I talk about Kansas City being last place, that was a hot take. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that there's a possibility that it can, because of reasons that I already talked about. But moving on, I still don't think it's going to be Kansas City, but I do feel that I like Denver this year. And Denver, all it took was, I kind of felt it last year with Drew Lock, and I forgot who the hell the other guy was. That's how unimportant that quarterback was.
Teddy Bridgewater. Put some respect on Teddy Bridgewater.
Was it Bridgewater?
I don't know. I know he played there once.
He played there at one time. This is the point that I'm making, that if we can't remember vividly if it was Bridgewater or not, point taken. But like, what was missing was someone that's been there before, or at least an experienced quarterback that really knows how to rip it. And I think them getting Wilson was one of the most perfect picks that they can actually get overall. Plus, with the young talent that they have in Jerry Jeudy, even KJ Hamler, Cortland Sutton, and the running game. Like, it's one of those where it's like you're kind of saying there's technically not a way that they shouldn't be terrible. And I think it's good to the point where they actually end up going to win the division. The Chargers, I almost picked the Chargers because just like you said, I love what the Chargers have, both on the offensive and defensive side. But Denver's always a kind of a hard place to actually play whenever people come to their field. So that being said, I still feel that Denver still has the opportunity. How's the game, Manny?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
If you're a Bills fan.
if you're a Bills fan, this is Mike Lou's episode.
Yeah, really is. I mean, I was gonna say maybe in a Southern California guy, like there's gonna be a lot of people at work upset tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even out here. So who do you got, Manny? AFC West.
This is my hot take division, and you guys are gonna hate me for this. I think the Chiefs are gonna win. Patrick, you said Justin Herbert was the best. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the division because he's proved it. My second team to take second place and be the first wild card, and this is where it's going bonkers. I think the Raiders are going to take second place because they added Devontae Adams. People forgot they have Chandler Jones now on the defense with who's the other guy that was really good last year on their DN. Here's my mess up. Well, they added Chandler Jones to their defense. So pass rush is going to be a lot better.
Right.
And it was already good last year. And then you add an up top, like I said, top 3 wide receiver in the league. Derek Carr is a decent quarterback. Hunter Renfro's coming to like form of like being a stud wide receiver, and you have Darren Waller. You have the pieces. People are forgetting about the Raiders in this division because everything that was added. Raiders actually stacked up as well. So my third place team, actually I'll go fourth because then you're going to hate me. I think the Chargers take fourth. I think they're a good team.
That's fair. Okay.
I think they're a good team, but when you have like the Broncos, I think Broncos are going to take third with Russell Wilson, and they're going to be the other wild card. So I think there's going to be 3 teams in this division as a wild card. I think Broncos and Chargers are going to go down to like the last game, and whoever wins that goes to the playoffs. And I think, like I said, Justin Herbert. I love Justin Herbert. He's so good. I just don't think they have it. Their defense is above average, I would say, right? But playing in Denver is tough. Playing in Las Vegas with the Raider fans is tough. Then going to Kansas City and playing in that stadium is tough. Going to play in Chargers, it's another away game for the Chargers. That's kind of where I got it from.
Right. No, it's good analysis. And once again, like this was going to be the hardest division regardless. So any of those teams is good. It has a chance and some kind of opportunity. I wish it was a little bit easier, like all the others were easy, but like just not here. So conference, I got Buffalo. Who do you have, Mike?
For the conference, I as well have Buffalo.
Manny?
Chiefs.
Okay, so we're gonna.
I'm the type of person prove it until I'm wrong, and like I said, Chiefs have proved it. They beat Buffalo last year. Bengals, I wouldn't say Bengals just because they were a fake whistle away from losing in the first round last year.
Fair. So we're gonna hold on to those, and we're gonna hold on to those until the next question. But let's go ahead and try to make this a little bit quicker, since I'm gonna hear the most out of this next one. NFC East. Who do you have?
You asking me?
I'm asking. I'll ask
Are you
myself.
asking me?
Uh,
Are you asking me?
I think everyone watching now, they have an idea of who exactly everyone is picking. But just in case, shit and giggles. Mike, who do you have?
And before I get into who I have, because obvious who I have, this is my guy right here behind me. I saw your pick earlier and I felt disrespected by that. So we'll talk about that in a later date. Yeah, but it's okay. But like Manny said, or he didn't really say this about this, but the reoccurring theme that he keeps saying is that he needs it to, he needs to be proven before he can change his mind. Well, the NFC East is crazy, right? Because for the last 20 years, it's been a different champion every single year, right?
Right.
But before I can see, there's only two. It's a 2-team race in this division, right? Okay. It's going to either be Dallas or it's going to be Philadelphia. But before I can see or believe that Philadelphia can beat Dallas, I need to see it. I mean, we destroyed these guys last year, both games. I feel like Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the division. I think we have the best defense in the division, and I think we have the best offense in the division. We were number one in the NFL last year in offense.
Yep.
So now we got a special teams weapon. Man, Turpin in the backfield. He might run a couple back. So I don't see Dallas losing the division unless they have injuries.
Keep going.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Will said he wanted to quicken it up a little bit, so that's all I got. But Dallas,
and that's why I picked this one first, so we can get this knocked out and over with. Because I know you were gonna go over the time limit.
Just a little bit.
Let's just knock it out. Manny, who do you got?
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that better.
It's getting me hyped, man. I can't wait till Sunday night.
I know. Oh God, you guys. So as far as my pick, he was waiting for it too. No, my pick. I gotta go with who I feel, and it's going to be Philly.
Someone mute him.
I've muted somebody try. No, I'm really hyped. I'm really hyped about that offense, and I just need to see how. I know pretty much everyone in life is okay, show me, and until it's changed, show me. So I can honestly see this year being the year where Philly actually shows one of the better, if not best, offensive lines in the league. An improvement as far as who you got in your wide receiver core. So this is a year where Jalen Hurts has to prove that he actually has an arm on him, because he has the weapon. So it's okay, it's your time now. It's going to be probably one of the better running teams in the league. Just kind of sucks that we don't know exactly who's going to be the main guy for the running back for the Eagles. Maybe still Jalen Hurts, who knows? But it's one of those where it's okay, I want to be able to see the change of the guard. And just like you said, it is going to be a two-team race. If it's not Philly, then I will personally admit that it is Dallas. So there you go. Moving on. NFC, we'll do a simple one. NFC South.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I think mine's different than your guys's in this one.
Mine's different too, probably.
Okay. I'm actually going to go with New Orleans. I'm going with the Saints. That's bold.
Kind of bold, yeah.
And I don't even know if I believe myself. No, I'm just playing. But no, right. But I just think it's so dependent on Jameis Winston, right? We've seen good Jameis, we've seen bad Jameis. I'm just asking for him to do what he was doing last year before he got hurt. If he can come in and play the same way he was playing last year before he got hurt, having Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Alvin Kamara. I mean, there's weapons all over the place. Their defense is nasty. I like the fact that they kept the coordinators. I mean, Peyton's gone, but they still have Pete Carmichael and they still have Dennis Allen, who pretty much were the guys who ran the offense and defense last year anyway. So I'm going to go outside on a limb, and I'm going to say age finally catches up with Brady just a little bit, and I think New Orleans wins the division.
Until you can show me, I think everyone else is proving that right now as far as quotes. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. They lost a lot of players, it seems like. Like Gronk is gone. Some defensive pieces are gone. But they still, I hate to say it, but as long as Brady is there, there's always going to be that likelihood that Tampa Bay is good. Tampa Bay can and will take over the division. It'll be interesting to see if New Orleans can win it. I actually agree with that too. Like they have the availability, but the question is, can they actually do it? I see the more likelihood of it being Tampa Bay. So that being said, I got to go with Tampa. Manny, what do you got?
I'm with Mike. I think the Saints. The thing that scares me about Brady is the line. The offensive line is hurt really bad. I think they're on their like third string on some positions. And the past seasons when the line is bad, Tom Brady, when he doesn't get enough time, is not Tom Brady. He can't pick apart the defense.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of people blitzing him. The Saints have one of the best defenses in the league. I know they have a new coach. They have Jameis Winston that had eye surgery that can see a little bit better. People forget about this. He couldn't see. He went 30 for 30 and he was blind. Now he's able to see. Like you said, he has his weapons there. Alvin Kamara, Olave, Michael Thomas. He has the Saints, yes. It's going to be a tough one, but I think the Saints can pull it off. I have Saints. I have Tampa Bay making the playoffs, but as a wild card. Then I have Panthers and then Falcons.
Okay. Yeah, poor Falcons. I really want Falcons to actually do something. They don't have to succeed fully, but do something.
Yeah.
Do something average. All right, so these last two divisions, we're running a little late on time. Let's go ahead and just try to do this as quickly as possible. NFC West, who do we got? I'll start it. I'll knock it out. Rams.
Rams. What?
Oh,
they just lost, but
You just threw me off guard.
I think he was expecting that.
No, because I can personally admit when making me run over to time here, but like I can personally admit like, well, first of all, if it helps, San Francisco is going to get a wild card. It's going to be. I feel it'll be close, but I think the Rams overall can outdo San Francisco all day, honestly. But I think the overall shot says that it's going to be the Rams. So I'll just leave it at that. Manny, who do you got?
Rams, Niners, Cardinals, Seahawks.
Poor Seahawks. Mike, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Rams as well. I think they'll win that division. I think the 49ers will probably finish second. Cardinals, Seahawks, just like Manny.
I would have to do that order probably too. NFC North. I want to hear from Mike.
Well, you just said you need to see it before you can believe it, which is going to kind of make your pick on this one weird to me. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of contradicting yourself, but I'm gonna let you do that.
Each other through all this.
True. But no, my pick is kind of referencing back to that. That's our motif. That's our reoccurring theme. We need to see it before we can believe it. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay. Until somebody can beat Green Bay, I'm gonna pick Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. I know the weapons aren't. His offensive weapons, as far as the receivers, aren't as good as they usually have been, but I think someone will emerge, probably Alan Lazard. I think somebody will emerge and be a productive receiver for him. I also think that those two running backs are amazing. So I think that between Dillon and Jones, I think they can make up for some of the lack of production for the receivers. Defense is always strong. Green Bay's a tough place to play. I'm going to go with the Packers.
Dillon and Jones will be top 12 running backs. That's a hot take. Manny, who do you got?
I got the Vikings. Like I said before, Coach of the Year is coming out of there. They have the weapons. They have an average defense, but when you're playing the Lions and the Bears, Packers actually are sneaky too because they have like one of the top defenses. I think the next wild card, the last one's going to come out of the North. There won't be one in the East. So I think it's going to be Vikings, Packers, Lions, and then Bears.
There's no I can't get away from, as much as I talked up Minnesota, I have to say Minnesota. There's no way that I can get away from. I think what I like the most is the fact that this is the team that has the most synergy within each player compared to all the other teams. It seems like the other teams are brand new to each other, like Aaron Rodgers with the receivers, the Bears just being the Bears, and even the Lions being the Lions. But this core that Minnesota has, they've been together for years. So it's to the point where it's like now this has to be the place where, or this has to be the time of the year where they actually take it over. So that's my thoughts. Conference winners, who do you got?
I have the Los Angeles Rams as the conference winner for the NFC, making my Super Bowl pretty much the same game we just saw tonight. It'll pretty much be a rematch of the season opener. I got the Bills and I have the Rams in the Super Bowl. And I have the Bills beating the Rams just like they did tonight. Probably not as bad. I'm sure it'll be a closer game, But yeah, I have the Rams as far as my conference winner for the NFC and the Bills as my overall Super Bowl winner. I just feel like they're the best team in the league, and that city really deserves a Super Bowl. So good for them.
Manny, who do you got?
I got Chiefs, like I said, Chiefs and Rams. I got Rams as well. NFC is not as good quality as teams as like the AFC, but Rams and Chiefs, and I think that's going to be a great game. It's going to be tough to pick, but I think the Rams are going to take it. They have the key weapons. If the AFC wasn't as tough, I think Bills or Chiefs could make it. But I just think they're going to be worn down by the time they get to the NFC. I think Rams are going to walk into the Super Bowl pretty much.
And who do you have for winning?
Rams.
Rams. Okay. The Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, Rams, Chiefs, and then Rams.
Okay. I got Tampa Bay. With the conference and the overall Super Bowl, Tampa Bay and Buffalo. And it's like, if this Super Bowl actually happens, I feel that it's a changing of the guard. That like and so my pick is the Bills to actually win the Super Bowl. So if Bills do beat specifically Tampa Bay, I can't find no other way to say, all right, now Tom Brady, it's your time to actually walk into the sunset and actually retire. Do what you got to do with Giselle. Get all that situated. You got the kids too. Like, this is Buffalo's time. That's the best way that I could explain it, and that's how I see it. So that's going to be our picks. We're going to clip each and every one of these picks, and we'll see what happens. We'll see who's right. We'll see who's wrong, and we'll see who gets laughed at. So there you go.
Can I say how, like, before we go, the AFC playoff picture could be 3 teams in the AFC West, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Bengals as like just imagine that playoff.
It's going to be insane how the AFC is going to look because everyone is so much on a similar level. It kind of seems like it. There's not really a sore thumb out of anybody there. So it's kind of hard to choose like specifically. Like it's easier in the NFC, but AFC is just loaded. Like it's to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, I'm just going to throw out a team there. Wouldn't be surprised if the Jets make the playoffs. Like, I'm not saying they are, but I'm just saying that like I'm saying that the AFC is so good that it elevates pretty much everybody. It can elevate everybody else in that conference to the point where even the lowest of the low can probably make the playoffs. So Davis Mills is going to the playoffs this year. There you go. Hot take, no. So that's pretty much it. That's going to be our show for the day. Like I said, this was a little bit longer than usual, but I still liked it. This was still fire. I enjoyed this talk that we had today. If you aren't following us on Instagram, go ahead and follow us. Next Up Fantasy, NXT UP Fantasy. On the stories, we do regular updates as far as players, as far as who's starting, as far as who's hurt, things like that, and maybe took your funny bone here and there with a couple of memes and things that we have on there. And if this is your first time watching us on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know whenever we have a new show on. We're going to do these, and like I said, we're going to work on doing other things throughout the week. With the suggestion with Manny possibly doing maybe even doing a post-week show. So on Tuesday. So we'll look into that as far as getting that done. But let's go ahead and congratulate the team in the back there. Go ahead and congratulate the Bills for actually winning the first game of the season. And just like that, it's a wrap. For the NXT Up crew, for Mike, what up, what up?
Peace, guys. It was fun, as always.
For the man in the middle over here, Manny being Manny.
See you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed it.
I'm Will. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon whenever you guys are watching this. And just like that, we are done. Next week. Peace.
We are NXT.